What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the WiseTake NBA DFS Wise Stream. CK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. And I, of course, am from the WiseTake Nation, which you can find on all the social media platforms listed above. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Please subscribe. Hit the notifications bell. We are a premium DFS content provider as well as a DFS community designed to help make you a better DFS player. Check us out at WiseTake.com if you're looking for some more hands-on help, if you're looking for a little more guidance, if you will. But welcome. We do all kinds of free DFS content on the channel, specializing in the main sports of NFL, NBA, MLB. You know what it is. And we have a lot of the ancillary sports. We have an esports show. We have a PGA show. We do content for those sites, for those sports as well. So a lot going on. We do a lot here. So make sure you subscribe, hit the notifications bell so you're notified. You don't miss out whenever we put something out on the channel. And if for whatever reason, if you ever see we are not on YouTube, it's because YouTube flagged us because they've been doing some funny stuff with the DFS industry people. And if that would be the case, check our Twitch account, twitch.tv/WiseTake. Check our Twitter at Wise_Take. It's always the best way to get information. But with that said, I see some of you already hit the like button. I appreciate y'all. If y'all could all hit that thing, that like button really helps us out, allows us to continue to do the dirty. On YouTube, allows us to continue to do a lot of free content, so it helps us out. If you get the like button, goes a long way. Shout out to Kyle, what's up, in the YouTube chat. Shout out to Tejas, right? Tejas, boom. Helped you win $13 2 days ago. There you go. We're looking for some bigger dollar amounts, but there's no win I've never had a win that was bad, right? Good job, man. Hopefully this increases. You win more and more and more as we go. I had a pretty big, I think it was Friday when DraftKings had the $4 donkey. I got close, man. I got real close. I think, I maxed the $4, 150 teams, and I think we had, I want to say, we did that's $600 out there. We did make back about 16, which was cool, but was just real close. I forget what it came down to, but I had a pretty good finish. Damian Lillard carried us to the top. Shout out to Dame Dollar, Paulie's boy. It's his year, man. It's just his year, at least in terms of like demonstrating his talent when comparing who are the top players in the NBA. Tejas, damn. You know what's funny is I got it right the first time, Tejas, and and for some reason, since you said I got it right on the first try, I haven't gotten it right. I don't know. Tejas, I got you, bro. Charles, what's up, bro? Charles Walker, what's happening? Chuck Dan, what's up, bro? You need a win tonight. We all do, man. Shit, I got bills to pay. Let's go. It is time to do it. We did our early look show. I don't think a ton has changed simply because we haven't gotten a ton of information. There's a lot of people questionable. A lot of news we're still waiting for. We've gotten more news for tomorrow than we've actually gotten for today. DeAndre Hunter is probable. Cam Reddish is probable. He's been out, so keep that in mind. We'll have to incorporate him. Jeff Teague available. So Atlanta playing that double overtime game looks like some of their guys are ready. But just to give you guys an idea of some of the guys we're missing, Giannis, that we're waiting on news for. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he just had a baby. I don't know if you guys saw his Twitter post literally just a few minutes ago. But he had a baby. He took a picture of the baby, posted it on his Twitter. So we'll have to see if he plays or if he decides to take the day off. D'Angelo Russell's questionable. They did a video. They're buying tickets for Wednesday for D'Angelo Russell. They're buying tickets for his debut at home. So doesn't mean he won't play today necessarily because they're on the road. But him and Kat are buying like 1,000 tickets, and they're going to give them out to fans for D'Lo's home debut, which will be Wednesday. But he could still play today because they're on the road. Doesn't mean shit. DeAndre Ayton, questionable. He rolled his ankle. He played like 40-something minutes in his last game. Rolled his ankle real bad, came back in the game, but apparently it blew up real bad the next day. So he's questionable. Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero have been out. They're not even questionable. It says TBD, to be determined. So I don't know. We hadn't even heard from them. Obviously, they didn't have a shoot around because they played last night. Kyle Lowry questionable after missing a game. So there's a lot. I think there's even more than that. There's just a lot out there that we're going to pay attention to. So the projections are going to change as we go through, as we get this news, all that kind of stuff. The projections is always available for download at WiseTake.com. They don't look like this. You just get the actual projections and the players and the salaries and all that stuff. It's from the site. They're designed to be downloaded, and then you can upload them into copy and paste whatever into whatever optimizer you use. But As far as what you see on a screen, these are the same numbers. It's just a little visual that I made so you guys could follow along. With that said, getting some people piling up in here. Finally, Dame finally becoming a superstar by knowing he was a walking bucket. He's been good smashing. He's been good, man. There's no doubt about it. What he's been doing this year is pretty incredible. I gotta say, LD, what's happening? LD, what's happening? MG says he says I didn't say hello to him. My bad, MG. My bad, bro. MG came close over the weekend, man. I saw that screenshot you posted. You got real close, man. That's usually a good sign, right? That's usually a sign of positive things to come, or at least let's hope. Today is very weird. As I go through it, I'm crunching all these teams throughout the day and making little tweaks here or there. One common theme for me is that the Kings are really standing out in terms of pricing. Really on both sites, but on FanDuel, obviously, there's other people who are underpriced. Victor Oladipo is going to be a topic of conversation on DraftKings, while Karis LeVert is the topic of conversation on FanDuel. Both those players are underpriced according to what site that I just mentioned, right? FanDuel, LeVert's way too cheap. DraftKings, Oladipo's way too cheap. So we'll go through this and do what we do game by game, see what we got. Second hour, we'll bring on Paulie. I'm going to go ahead and jump right into this because we've got 9 games to get through. Let me just refresh this Vegas page. So we're going to start off with the Atlanta Hawks visiting the Orlando Magic. Total is 220.5. The Magic opened up -6. I wish I was up early enough to get that number. Unfortunately, it's 8.5 now. Probably still some value. I do think Atlanta still covers. I do think the Magic still cover that number. But needless to say, really tough spot in the schedule. We talked about this earlier for Atlanta. Back end of a back-to-back, 4-6 stretch. Went to double overtime last night against the Knicks. Orlando also in a 4-6 stretch, but they've had a day off. They're at home, just kind of hanging out. On the Atlanta side, I'm a little reluctant to go too heavy on any of these guys. Hunter's actually looking like a decent option, but I have his minutes up, and they may be a little. I mean, he's been dealing with injury. He was questionable today. He just got back from some sort of injury. I'm just nervous. I'm nervous. Some of these guys played so many minutes last night. I'm worried that either A, they're inefficient with the minutes they do get, or B, they just don't see as much minutes. I know that's not a way you want to go about. You want to follow the numbers, but to make the case more interesting, keep in mind that Orlando is one of the slowest paced teams in the league. So if you were going to target a team in this sense and use pace as the reasoning, it would be the Orlando side we would want. They're the ones who are not always in 220 totals and are going to be paced up, not the other way around. So I'm not that interested in too many of these guys. I mean, Trae Young's got the upside. He went for 72 last night, but it took him 2 overtimes to get there. John Collins, same thing, just kind of balled out with all the extended minutes. And these guys weren't leaving the court. They played minutes in the 40s. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes. In terms of projections, nobody really pops, but you're going to see that as a common theme on DraftKings. On FanDuel, John Collins showing up a little bit. We've got some options. What do I have Hunter at straight up? 33, a legitimate 33. So I'll probably bump him down to, say, 32.5. Maybe like 32. I mean, he's been playing the minutes, don't get me wrong. Last night, he was another one that played 40-something minutes. I'm just reluctant to go back. So our projections are going to kind of reflect my reluctance to come here. Trae Young's the only one who we may actually get some of, just because 5.4x for a stud on a slate like this, where not a lot of stuff is looking all that great on DraftKings, actually isn't bad. So as of right now, we may find ways to reach him. And I was conservative. I normally project him for around 38. I try to be aggressive with these, and we got him at 37, which is still fairly aggressive considering how many minutes he played. But, I mean, the dude's been playing big minutes. Well, what can you say? Cam Reddish is back. I have him at around 22 to 23 for now. We'll see. Don't really know what to expect on his first game. Bembry's doubtful, so there's going to be some extra minutes to go around in that aspect. We'll do an update on the second half of the show, kind of refresh these when we get Paulie on. But still not going to be a ton from these guys that I'm terribly interested in. On the Orlando side, a little more interested. I think Fournier is probably my favorite at this point. Not my favorite play on the slate, just on this team. I think the price is really low. He's going to be paced up. Not a lot of defense here. Vooch would be my next option. Not projecting terribly well, but again, relative to the slate, I think it's a situation where we would still end up getting some, and I'm cool with that against Atlanta in a pace-up spot. They've been bad against centers forever now, so I'm cool with that. To be honest, I guess my biggest concern with paying for some of these guys would be more so that Orlando beats the shit out of Atlanta. But again, they're on a 4-6 stretch. These are 2 NBA teams. We'll see. You don't want to make any strong biases. Aaron Gordon is interesting. We don't really have him. Maybe a little conservative with his minutes. I got him at 33. I don't think it's going to do a whole ton if I bump him up to 33.5 or anything like that. But I think he's definitely interesting in this spot. Say we give him 34. He's playing around 33 as like an average, but say we give him 34, maybe that'll help him out a little bit. It helps him out a little. Again, like the pricing on this slate is kind of rough on DraftKings for everyone. On FanDuel, though, Fournier definitely a consistent, solid projection. Michael Carter-Williams is kind of interesting. His price is elevated, but he's been playing alongside some of these guys. So giving me Brandon Ingram news while I'm waiting for all this other news. You're slipping me Brandon Ingram news. Wonderful. Terrence Ross, very scoring dependent. Always fine for tournaments, though, because he's got the upside. Markelle Fultz, his price has gotten down on FanDuel. I don't mind it against Atlanta, especially that they play fast. They can get sloppy, a lot of turnovers. Fultz is a pretty good defender in general, so I actually don't mind it at all. Fultz, I don't know if I reach him. And on a projection level, he's not projecting great. We would need some news, I guess, to really elevate him. I'm not going to elevate him for no reason. Our projections already incorporate pace and all that fun stuff. James Ennis, whatever you want to call him, he's min price on DraftKings. I got him at around 17. I don't know what their plans are for him. We found out today that Isaac is confirmed gone for the season. They went out and got him for a reason, I would assume. So we'll see. Maybe he steps in and plays and takes some minutes away from Awundu and those situations, Birch and all that stuff. But he's min price. I mean, if he plays 30 minutes, it's a solid value play. I just don't know. This guy's making his debut. Are they going to toss him to the Wolves and just give him 30 out the gate? I'm not sure. Curious to hear your thoughts, actually. I'd like to know what you guys think about that. Drop it in the chats. I'll go from the Ystream chat, YouTube chat. After this game, I'll take a quick look. But yeah, these guys are getting paced up. Fournier is probably the strongest on a projection basis, the one I'm most likely to get the most of. I'm cool with Vooch. On FanDuel, Vooch even stronger at an 8.6 price tag opposed to the 8.90 is on DraftKings. But yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm okay with getting some of these Orlando players. Let's see. What else we got? What else we got? Next game, we got the Brooklyn Nets visiting the Indiana Pacers. We've got a 217.5 total. This total has come down a little bit, right? It was 220 at open. It's down 2.5 points at 217.5. The Pacers opened up -7. They're down to -6.5. Why are we missing Depot from these? That don't make no sense. Give me 1 second while I figure out what happened to Mr. Oladipo on this. Oh, wait a minute. Do I? I mean, he's on our main sheet. I don't know why he's not showing up on this sheet. Maybe I just got to do this. Nah, that shouldn't have nothing to do with it. He's missing from this sheet for whatever reason. We'll go. Oh, wait a minute. It's on DraftKings. Okay, yeah. I can fix this real quick. 1 sec. Boom, this should fix it right here. He's going to pop in any second now. Yep, there he is. All right, so good spot for all the Pacers. They're all pretty healthy, right? Oladipo has been starting, playing like 28 minutes. He did miss a game for rest, but should be back. We're expecting him to start over Lamb. I think that's the deal. I don't know why he's 4-2 on DraftKings. Maybe because people haven't been playing him. I mean, he hasn't been good this year in terms of result. You look at his game logs, we're talking 17, 13, 24, 20. His best game came recently against Toronto, and that was only a 25. But the usage rates, 23, 36, 33, 30, 25, just massive. He's taking a bunch of shots. They're not really falling, but he's taking a bunch of shots. 2 for 14, 4 for 17, 5 for 14, 5 for 11 was a little more decent. We're looking at 28 minutes as a cap. He played 27 against Toronto, so there's still an extra minute somewhere in there. Very soft matchup against a team that he would go 30s for against over his career with his eyes closed. I can't really argue against him on DraftKings. On FanDuel, you could argue with the price because LeVert, we'll talk about him in a second. LeVert's the same price, basically, like $300 more at the same position. And he's not on a 28-minute limit. But for the time being, I know Oladipo is going to be very popular today, and that's the only reason I can say if you don't want to play him is that he's going to be popular. You can try to find a pivot, but this slate is, things could change if we get news. We could get stronger value, but as of right now, we don't have a ton of strong value. At least I don't believe so. And he's showing up as one of the best. Now, here's the thing: if you project him for, this FanDuel projection ain't even right. Hold on 1 second, I'm missing something here. missing something here. Depot. Huh. Strange. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, our FanDuel projection for Depot is not 21. It's actually 27.5. Not sure why it's showing. It's weird. It's showing the number wrong, but it is showing the correct point per dollar value. Is that right? No, that can't be right. Anyway, we'll come back to that. It's right on the actual projection sheet. Regardless, lower owned on FanDuel for sure. DraftKings, though, it's really hard to pass up. I mean, Miles Turner, kind of an enigma. He's cheap on DraftKings at his price. The problem, of course, is always with Miles Turner is he's just been ass, man. I mean, let's take a look at what Miles Turner's been doing lately. Miles Turner did go for 35 against New Orleans. That's what we want to see. 5 blocks. That's the key. Can Turner get his blocks? His shot volume's not high enough. His usage is not high enough. It's going to come down to boards. And keep in mind, he's competing with another good rebounder, Domantas Sabonis. And really, the blocks. If he can have a little SWAT fest against Brooklyn, that's going to be his best bet at a big game. For tournaments, I'm fine with it because the spot against Brooklyn's awesome. But Brogdon's in a really good spot. I was conservative with his minutes because with Oladipo there, I recognize he is taking up a lot of usage. But I think it's a decent spot for him. Sabonis is on FanDuel at that price is pretty attractive to me. 7,800 for Sabonis against Brooklyn. That sounds pretty awesome. On DraftKings at 9.6 is tough, man. I'm not saying he can't do it for tournaments, but it's tough. It's tough to reach him there. But this team definitely want to focus in on. I think Oladipo is going to be the highest owned player on DraftKings. On the other side of the game, we've got the Nets, and Karis LeVert is 7K on DraftKings, so obviously it's a big discrepancy between him and Oladipo. Karis LeVert's been playing like a beast finally, by the way. They finally unleashed him. He's 5,600 on FanDuel. I'm not sure why it's so low. I know even in our projection we don't have him as anything crazy, but the guy's got monster upside, and I'm actually going to give him a little boost because you also have to take into account that his usage is just massive right now. With Kyrie Irving out. He's really taken over. I mean, it's hurt Dinwiddie to a degree. Dinwiddie did have a good game last time, like they all kind of did. It was great. But in a matchup with Indiana, I don't know if I want too much of them together, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to jack up his projection real quick because he should be a lot higher than that. But on FanDuel, definitely very strong at 5,300. Dinwiddie I'm all right with. I don't love him, but it's the Pacers, right? I just don't want a ton of it. The rotation for Brooklyn, guys don't get the minutes that you would think. The usage is going to be good for LeVert and Dinwiddie, but there's just really not a ton from the Brooklyn side that I think I'm interested in. Derrick Rose officially ruled out. We already knew that, though. Svi ruled out, so that's cool. So I guess Detroit's going to be just as thin as they were. What else we getting here? NBA injuries. Markieff Morris available to play. He was probable. We expected that, so we'll go through. I have to keep an eye on that starting lineup. Let's go on to the next game. Just going to pop into the chats real quick. Harry Giles. We'll talk about Harry Giles later. I know he's going to be a topic of conversation, Travis. We will talk about Harry Giles when we get to the Kings. The Kings are a big one for me because I like the Kings today, and I'll explain why. But Giles specifically is one that we'll talk about and discuss, and probably talk about again with Paulie when we bring him on later. Next up, we've got the Charlotte Hornets and the Detroit Pistons. We got, yeah. All right. We've got a 205.5 total. So it opened up at 208, which is already low. It's dropped 2.5 points to 205.5. The Pistons are -3 at home. They opened up -2. In terms of schedule, both teams have had a day off. Detroit within a 4-6 stretch, so not as good, but still, both teams with a day off. Pistons are home. Devontae Graham finally had a good game. That was nice to see. I think it's definitely possible he does again. His price a little more elevated on DraftKings at 7-1, but earlier this year when he was in that hot stretch, you wouldn't have blinked twice to play him at 7-1. So I think that if you think he's just heating up, if you think that's the kind of player he is, he's going to be streaky like this, fire away against Detroit. I'm not worried about it. My issue is he's a little too close in price to a point guard that I like more in the Kings game. Looking at the rest of this team, Miles Bridges finally had a game where he came back down to earth, but he's still playing big minutes, so I don't mind grabbing some of him. Obviously, 6'2" and 5'8" aren't as appealing for a player like him that's demonstrated a low floor even with big minutes, but it does look like maybe he's playing a little bit more aggressively. PJ Washington makes for a pretty solid value play on DraftKings, more so at 4-4, and he's got the position flexibility. Again, there's a slate where the value just wasn't that strong to me. It could change, but at the moment it wasn't that strong to me. Cody Zeller's minutes are kind of in flux with PJ around. You never know who's going to get the minutes because they'll play PJ at the 5. And now that there's no Drummond on this team, like they can do that if that's what they want to do. I'm not dying to get a bunch of exposure to the Charlotte side specifically. Outside of some value plays, I'm good with Rozier. I'm good with Graham. I don't even mind if you like Bridges. I don't think I end up with much, but if somebody, I can't really like argue if I don't want to play Bridges today. I'd be like, well, he's expensive, but he's been playing big ass minutes and he's been a lot more aggressive. That's really all I'd say. Just not someone I think I get to. On Detroit, so they remain extremely thin, except Markieff Morris is back. They said that Henson wasn't going to play last time. They said he'd be available, but he wouldn't play. He ended up playing. So I'm assuming he's available to play again, so he could take minutes away from Thon Maker. Markieff Morris has been out, and I'm worried that he could take some minutes away from Christian Wood. Now, they played Christian Wood like 34 and then 37 on a back-to-back, and he balled out both times. But now his price is elevated, especially on FanDuel at 8,100. Now, the spot is awesome. Charlotte is terrible against bigs. Power forwards, centers don't matter. They're bad. So the spot is awesome, but we know the pace is going to be really slow in this game. We're not expecting a ton of possessions. The bright side is Christian Wood has a solid usage rate and seems to be one of the top go-to options, one of the better rebounders and all that. So I still like Christian Wood, obviously not as much as we have over the last couple of days, but I still like him. I'm curious to see what his projected ownership is. I haven't really looked at that stuff just yet. I'll look at that stuff in the second hour. But yeah, so we'll have to see. Markieff Morris, I'm assuming, is going to continue to come off the bench, and assuming that that's the case, I mean, I guess they could start him over like Tony Snell. I just don't, Tony Snell is just better off starting with Reggie and those guys. Reggie, I'm actually okay with. Just his usage and everything. What we see right now is just awesome. 6'6" on DraftKings is not great, but 5'9" on FanDuel I'm actually cool with. So Reggie and Wood are the main two. Again, Thon Maker's been balling. Awesome spot for centers, and he still played good minutes, Thon Maker, and played well. So I think he's a fine option for center for value. I'm just not sure with the minutes. I think we'll see with Markieff back. I think we could see some Christian Wood at the 5 to interject and like rotate in. So I think Wood's mostly going to play at the 4, but I don't think that Wood and Markieff aren't going to play together at all. I think we'll see stretches where Wood slides into the 5 a little bit. I mean, the reason I think that is simply because, number one, he's been their best player. And number two, Dwayne Casey said himself that when they traded Drummond, he was like, it's time for Christian Wood to step up. So I think they're going to give him that opportunity to try to step up. Needless to say, like I said, I think there's no big on the other side that Christian Wood can't match up with. So I think we'll see him play some 5 alongside Markieff Morris, and that's what makes me nervous to take a shot on Henson or Thon Maker, because that's going to affect those two dudes. Then Boya seems to be like barely hanging on to minutes at all. There's just not much else. Bruce Brown, I guess, man, that's a minutes thing, man. I mean, Bruce Brown, I probably have his minutes projected a little too low. Let's take a look. Yeah, I mean, if especially with V out, I mean, we got him at 33, which isn't like too far off. He's played 33, 33, and 35 over his last 3. The usage isn't that great. He is what he is. We've seen him play upwards of 38. He did that against Memphis and Denver, but since then they haven't been in blowouts, and they've managed his minutes a little bit differently. So I don't want to. One of them was foul trouble, but I don't want to assume that he's going to go back to playing those 30, whatever it was. But certainly an interesting play. On FanDuel at 4-5, I'm definitely interested. DraftKings at 5K, it's not the worst thing I've seen, but it's definitely not like, I'm not crazy excited about it either. But it's Bruce Brown. How excited are you going to be to play a guy like Bruce Brown? I don't know. Just never really thought it. But Christian Wood and Reggie, the main ones. More so Christian Wood. Next up, we've got the we got the Minnesota Timberwolves visiting the Toronto Raptors. I just dropped some shit. I don't know if you heard that. Drop some shit. Pick it up. All right, we've got a 230.5 total. So this total is actually risen. And Toronto opened up -10, and it's now down to -9. Maybe D'Lo is going to play. I mean, for the total to elevate by 2 points and the spread to go down a point. I know Minnesota... so basically, Toronto opened up at -10. It's now -9. So I know Minnesota just pulled off an upset against the Clippers. 52% of the bets on Minnesota, public dog style. Interesting. As far as the schedule goes, Minnesota working with a day off. Toronto also with a day off. But it is a 4-6. just like stretch at the moment. With that said, we've got a really high total. I think this is the highest total we have. Yeah, it is. This is the highest total we got. Ooh. Interesting. The Kings total went up too. I like that. Anyway, so let's start off with Minnesota. We're waiting on D'Angelo Russell to find out if he's going to play. If he's in, I don't mind you taking a shot on him. If he's in on FanDuel, I like that 7-3. D'Angelo Russell is really good at the pick and roll. He's got really good numbers running the pick and roll. Karl-Anthony Towns is really good at the pick and roll, right? Without D'Lo, they don't really have a guy. Obviously, Jared Culver was a disaster at point guard. This McLaughlin dude can play it, and as you saw, Cat had a much better game last time out. So either way, I think Cat's in a good spot. Obviously, he's expensive. Do you have enough value to get him? You make that call. I think if D'Lo's out, you will, because then Malik Beasley, I think Malik Beasley you can try to play regardless, assuming he starts. I just feel more comfortable. Knowing that D'Lo's out, because say he still starts and gets the minutes with D'Lo there, here we go. Giannis Antetokounmpo just got ruled out. So this slate just got chalky, and that kind of sucks because the Bucks just got more chalky. That is going to I think that's going to make the opposing team, the Kings, more chalky, and that is obviously the team that I liked a lot. So that's a pain in my ass. I don't like that. But I'll make a note to adjust for Giannis. And hopefully we'll see what other news. I'm still waiting on that Jabari Parker news, probably more than anybody else. I'll explain that later too. But yeah, so if D'Lo's in, it's not that I'm interested. On FanDuel, 7-3. I like D'Lo. 8-7 on DraftKings, not as much. Karl-Anthony Towns, I think is fine on both sites, especially if you're coming here for that. You're just looking for the game to stay close, which really fucked me against the Clippers, man. He had a really good game, but they blew out. And back to Beasley. I think Beasley becomes a very strong value play if D'Lo is out. If D'Lo's in, he's okay. I'm not saying you can't play him because I'm assuming he may still start. But the usage, right? D'Lo takes a lot of usage, and that team will run the pick and roll probably even more. So now if D'Lo's out, we can take a look at Jordan McLaughlin. We can, like I said, we'll increase Malik Beasley's projections and minutes and all that good stuff. So we'll have to see. It looks like Brandon Knight is available to make his Pistons debut. I didn't know that they were really going to do that. Brandon Knight, okay. So something to keep in mind. Maybe Bruce Brown's minutes go down. Reggie's minutes go down. Something to keep in mind. We'll see as we go through. There's other pieces on this Minnesota team. We just need a bigger sample. Like James Johnson got minutes. He's really cheap. Juancho Hernan-Gomez started. He didn't believe it or not, his minutes actually weren't. I don't think he reached 30 minutes. Juancho Hernan-Gomez played 27 minutes. It's not bad. Went for 23. He's 3,600. He's probably one of the stronger value plays. I mean, again, if D'Lo is in, I'm not sure what happens rotationally. I think regardless, I should probably give him a boost. I'm assuming. What do I have him at now? 26? That's probably too low. But why did I do that? There might be a reason I did that I'm just not thinking of right now. Well, I think they do have other players available, right? Like guys, and maybe not. Or D'Lo, I guess, would be the main one. I'm going to go back to giving him, assuming he starts. Now, if he doesn't start, we'll come back and do what we got to do to adjust. But for now, I got him at a flat 26. Let me at least give the man 27. I mean, that's not going to change a whole ton. He just hasn't, this season, he hasn't played a lot. And when he has played, he hasn't really done anything for his point per minute. But anyway, I think... yeah, there we go. 5.4. It's still not pretty, but there's some room there. He's gonna have his hands full. Assume if he does start at the 4 against against Siakam, he's gonna have his hands full. But I guess he's somewhat viable. But Beasley's the one we're looking to get for value from here. McLaughlin, I think, is fine. On FanDuel, he's 4,600. I'd definitely be down at 5.3 on DraftKings. I'd still be okay with it, assuming he's gonna get that 30-something minutes. Plays well with Cat. But D'Lo, I'm waiting on the news there. We'll have to see what happens. Next up, we've got the Toronto side of the ball. So Kyle Lowry, we're waiting on news for. Pretty important news. Obviously, if he's in, I think his price is okay against Minnesota. Minnesota is a team we like to target against. His price is down. Van Vliet finally had a good game, but his price is elevated. I like Van Vliet on FanDuel at 6.7, even if Lowry does play. 7.6 on DraftKings, I really prefer it if Lowry's out. Terrence Davis, only if Lowry's out, and even then you have to look at his price, but he's been playing really well. Ibaka's actually the one that projects the best for us. He's probably the one that I end up with the most with from this game. He hasn't had great history against Cat in the past. I'm sure that if Gasol was healthy, that's the matchup they would prefer for the most part. Ibaka's significantly smaller than Cat. But Ibaka's minutes have been very consistent over the last 3 games. 34, 40, 32. Against Brooklyn, he was disappointing, but my main concern here with him is foul trouble. Can he stay out of foul trouble against Cat in the pick and roll? That's the main my main question mark. But as far as pricing goes, I mean, yeah, when he plays 30-something minutes, he should go for, enough to pay this off. I don't think it's that bad. I mean, he projects for 5.67, and I'm fairly conservative with his minutes. I've seen other sources, a couple other places projecting him for like 38 with more aggressive minutes. So I'm trying to be conservative, and he's still coming out a lot in my teams. Just, again, the pricing in general on DraftKings a little more strict. But, Van Vliet on FanDuel, I'm cool with. Lowry, if Lowry's in, I'm probably going to raise his minutes, because if he's in, I do think he'll play more than the 33. I think 34 is a minimum. Upwards of 36, he just plays a lot of minutes. But, we'll have to get that news. Like I said, there's a lot of news we're waiting for, and it's, what are we, like an hour and a half, not even to lock, and we don't have this shit? Very frustrating. Very frustrating. No doubt. Guys, if you haven't hit that like button, please do. Ibaka out? Is that real? I'm looking at the chat. The chat's telling me Ibaka's out. Is that real? Yeah, Ibaka out. Kyle Lowry probable. Ibaka out. Shout out to the chat. Confirmation. All right, so Lowry's most likely going to play. This is going to be, oh my gosh, is Chris Boucher going to start? Oh man, that could be big. That's wild. I mean, they could start Siakam at the 5, or let's look at who's available. They could start Siakam at the 5. They got a bunch of dudes I never heard of. I doubt that they would play much. This Dewan Hernandez dude's a big. Boucher's the one that's been playing though, right? Like, they could go small, but it's Cat. They can go small, but it's Cat. So you kind of can't go. You already going small with Ibaka against a guy like Cat. Interesting. What do we do here now? So, number one, I think that benefits guys like OG, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, because they're more likely to step in and play some minutes as well. But is Chris Boucher going to start? Is Chris Boucher still like firmly in the rotation, or is he still just kind of messing around? The only reason I think he may is because it's Cat. Now, if Siakam starts at the 5 instead, if they decide to do that, then that makes Juancho Hernangomez's matchup a little bit better. So you can see how it's kind of all related. Boucher played 16 minutes against Brooklyn and got 5 fouls in those 16 minutes. So he did put up 20 DraftKings points. So he was on his way to doing dirties. 3 blocks, 5 rebounds, 5 for 5 from the free throw line, 2 for 5 from the field, but 5 fouls ultimately was slowing him down. Wow, this should be pretty good. I want to see what RotoWire thinks is going to be the starting lineup. Not that their shit means shit, but wow, they don't even have Ibaka out yet. They don't even know yet. Idiots don't even know yet. Crazy. But yeah, we will revisit this situation. Let me just make a note so I can update that on the transition. Ibaka. Holla. Guys, if you haven't hit that like button already, please do. Appreciate those of you that have. They go a long way, really help us. Interesting. So we have a massive total. We've got one team that just upset the Clippers and basically is brand new. And then on the other side, we have a team that just got really small. They were already kind of small. They got really small. The usage for the main guys, right? Like that for sure is a thing. So Kyle Lowry, Van Vliet, and Siakam all just got even better because they're going to have to soak up some of the usage that Ibaka had. Now, I don't believe Ibaka in the last game had a tremendous usage rate, but the games before, I think it was decent. Yeah, so he had a 13 usage rate against Brooklyn. But before that, a 23.6, a 33, a 27, a 30. That's a lot of usage to go around. So we'll be looking for some value here. We'll want to pay attention to see who's going to start. We'll talk about that in the second half. I'll go through and try to make some adjustments to the projections. And then, like I said, the Toronto guys just got a huge boost. I have to make some updates to the article because there's going to be some here. We want Lowry, Van Vliet, Siakam. The prices I felt like were elevated, but now it kind of makes sense if you have this many people out. Usage-wise, Gasol and Ibaka. So I'm with it. We'll come back, revisit. There's going to be something strong there. We'll talk about it in the second hour. Moving on to the Kings and Bucks. This is another one that we have to make some updates to. So starting with the Kings, first of all, let's go over this, right? 229.5 total. So this is only a point lower than that Toronto game. Both totals have risen. This one's actually risen 2.5 points. The Bucks opened up minus 14. It's down to minus 10.5. We know Giannis is not playing. Yeah, 10.5. Okay, I thought maybe it might have moved a little bit more. I did not. As far as schedule goes, the Kings and Bucks have both had a day off. This is a 3-4 for Sacramento, but if you recall, in their last game, we'll talk about it in a second, they all played limited minutes. All right, so I had people asking about Giles. He played 28 minutes, or 27 minutes finally in their last game. Here's my issue. Number one, we're gonna have to pay close attention to see what the status is. By the way, James Ennis is not starting. They're starting Awundo still. With that said, going back to the Kings. So right now, if you look at the Kings, they're actually really thin. Now, Jabari Parker's questionable, so we have to pay attention to see what happens with him. I have him out as of now because he's been out. But we'll want to pay attention. It's a revenge spot for him, so he might want to play. It's Milwaukee. He already made a comment about he'd like to debut tonight, but he's got a shoulder issue. He's been out for a long time. We'll see. They may just elect to do it another time. I'm hoping they do that, because if they do that, then where it stands now, I'm pretty comfortable with my exposures to the Kings, and it's heavy. Starting off with De'Aaron Fox. Nothing special here, right? It's a pace-up spot for the Kings against Milwaukee. Now there's no Giannis. They still play fast. De'Aaron Fox, I think, is underpriced on both sites. He's probably one of my favorite plays on the slate overall. He got 26 minutes in the last game, right? I think that may be why some people are concerned, maybe. I don't know. He got 26 minutes. Before that, he's played 36, 34, 33, and 35. So I saw some places projecting him for like 31, 32. Why? Because he had one game where he played 26. I think that was a load management issue. They beat the shit out of the Spurs. De'Aaron Fox, I don't think played the fourth quarter. I'll check right now. Let me pull up popcorn machine right now. I don't think Fox even played the fourth quarter. No, he did not. So De'Aaron Fox got 26 minutes. He played almost all the first quarter. He played, I would say, like 60% of the second quarter, played about 60% of the third quarter, and then never came back in. And again, it's because they didn't need him. A lot of talk about Harry Giles. Number one, if Jabari's in, that could affect both Bjelica and Harry Giles regardless. Number two, just looking at what Harry Giles has done, he's playing like 17 minutes max most nights. And they started off with the same formula that they have. They start him with the starting five. He plays a good amount of that first quarter, comes out, doesn't come back until halftime. Does the same thing in the third quarter, and usually when he comes out, he does not go back in. Now, in this particular scenario, he did close. He played the entire fourth quarter. That was the difference. He actually came in for that fourth quarter, played the whole fourth quarter. Now, he closed. The actual closing lineup was Harry Giles, Harrison Barnes, who is a regular starter and was playing really well, Buddy Hield, who's a bench player but still a closer, and then Corey Joseph and Kent Bazemore. So obviously they were still trying to win. They felt like they were able to win with just those guys and the reserves. They were able to. They won comfortably. But I don't believe this is like the rotation. I think it was nothing more than trying to rest their guys because they were on a back end of a back-to-back and they were hitting the road. That's truly what I believe. So I believe we're going to go back to seeing big rotation. Now, again, my second favorite player as of now is Nemanja Bjelica. The reason I like him is because he's actually their true center right now. He's the one playing majority of the center minutes. They got nobody else, right? There's no Jabari Park. I'm sorry, there's no Marvin Bagley, no Alex Len, no Rayshawn Holmes. These are all guys they have on their roster that's not ready. They can't play. Now, Jabari, if he's available, that could affect this. Because even if they don't want to play, like Jabari could play the 4 or the 5 if need be. I know Jabari's not really a 5, but Bjelica's not really a 5 either. They're just kind of making it work. The only one, even Giles, you could argue, is more of a 4. I don't know. Anyway. So I don't believe that Giles is going to play big minutes again. I really don't. I think that Bjelica is most likely to play a lot of center minutes tonight. And if Jabari is out, then I love Bjelica today. We were pretty strong with his minutes. I gave him 34. I think I actually gave him 33 and a half. I'll check right now. And then I'll read off what he's been playing. So Bjelica has played, I got him at 34, which is high. The reason I gave him 34 is because... So he played 32 minutes last night, and he barely played in the fourth quarter. So that wasn't a close game. They said, screw it, right? He played 37 against Miami in their last close game. Other than that, they've actually been involved in a lot of blowouts. And in those situations, it's funny because Giles didn't get the run. I guess he could have. But I do think Bjelica is going to play more minutes. Maybe I'm a little too aggressive with 34 flat. I'll move him to, say, 33 and a half and see if that changes anything. But that 37 minutes, if the game is close, that's what I think he's more likely to play. The last time these guys played, the Bucks beat the shit out of the Kings in Sacramento, and Bielitsa played 40 minutes. And I think that was more so because of the home crowd, in front of there. I mean, I raised him to 33.5, and he still projects to be one of the top plays on the slate for me. So him, I like Bogdanovich again. I'm cool with Hield on FanDuel. DraftKings, I'm okay with them for upside, but I don't like his price. I like Bogdanovich's price better. But Bielitsa, Bogdanovich, Fox, I like a lot today. I'm not really big on Giles. I could have a wrong read on that. And I'm going to be honest, if Jabari gets ruled in, we're going to have to revisit the Bielitsa situation because I only want him if I think he's playing those big minutes. It's not that I think this matchup is cupcake. I don't think it's terrible with Giannis out, but it's not necessarily cupcake either. But I do plan on playing a lot of Kings tonight. For sure. The prices are just too low. And just naturally, they project to be the best. I mean, that's on a slate where not a lot of guys project well. On the Milwaukee side, we don't even have Giannis out yet. I'll obviously make that correction. So expect to see Bledsoe's projection through the roof. Expect to see Middleton. I mean, we can do some of it right now. I'll give you guys a little peek of what it looks like. Now, what's interesting is they have Marvin Williams. So with Giannis out, we always load up on Ilyasova, right? And this is going to change the dynamic of the slate. This kind of stuff is going to make the common builds, like the Stars and Scrubs build, is going to be way more popular now. Between Oladipo and Ilyasova, let's say, you now have a ton of value to work with. You can afford whatever stud you actually want. So keep that in mind. With that said, that's still going to keep the mid-tier build a little lower owned now. That ownership on the mid-tier build is dropped. So with Middleton, we want to incorporate 33. He probably won't play more than 33, but we want to incorporate the usage increase. I'll do it the proper way a little bit later. But just hypothetically, say, we did something like this to give them the reflective boost. I think I had them a minute apart, so we'll keep it a minute apart. As you can see, Middleton now goes up to 44.72. 5.6 on some slates isn't good enough. On this slate, it actually might be. There's not a lot of guys in that range that do project that well. As far as Bledsoe, yeah, he goes up to around 40. Yeah, Bledsoe's the one that's probably a little more underpriced. I'll lower him a little bit. DiVincenzo, with no George Hill, could end up playing a bigger role. We should probably maybe give him a little boost, just a little bit, from 25.25 to 25.5. Wesley Matthews could end up playing more for sure. We'll have to give him a little boost as well. We'll give him something small for now. Ersan Ilyasova, I mean, here's the problem with Ersan. As of right now, I'm still thinking he's the guy, right? The issue that I'm having right now is they did go out there, and for some reason, they got he's not on the sheet right now, but they got Marvin Williams. So I don't know if he's available to make his deal. I think he is. I don't know why they got him, but he plays the same position as Giannis and Illy. So I'm not sure. Again, I don't even have him in the player pool right now, but keep an eye on that situation. If you see something wacky, only play Illy if you know he's starting, or if you hear that, or at least a heavy exposure. I'm not saying don't play Illy at all, because even if Marvin started, Illy could end up playing more minutes, right? He's been there. But yeah, Ilyasova becomes one of the strongest value plays on the slate, no doubt. Let me just remove Giannis just so get that out the way. We'll correct all this. The two biggest ones right now are Giannis and Ibaka. We're still waiting for news on the rest. Got to raise up Lowry as well. So we got some things we got to do. Let's keep it rolling, though, because I'm running low on time. We got to get Paulie on here so I can adjust these. We still got 4 games. We're going on Utah. I'm going to speed it up. Let's go. Utah at Dallas. We've got a 217 total, down 3 points from 220 to 217. The Jazz opened up -1. They're up to -1.5. This is a back end of a back-to-back for Utah. 4-6, travel to Dallas, all that fun stuff. From Houston to Dallas, though. Dallas has had a day off. It's a 4-6 for them as well. Porzingis did not play in the last game. On the Utah side, Joe Ingles for value is an option, but we have a lot stronger value now. Jordan Clarkson balled out. I know there were some people in our Slack chat who were big on Clarkson last night. Shout out to y'all. Y'all nailed that one. Houston's the perfect opponent for him, right? They need the scoring, fast pace, just run down, chuck some threes. So he did awesome. Know how it goes today. His minutes have been up and down. He played 29 minutes against Houston, but before that he's playing around 20. Mike Conley has been playing really well since coming. The best he's played as a Jazz. So he hasn't played that well as a member of the Jazz this year. Since he's back from his injury, he's been playing a lot better. So I'm actually good with Conley. His minutes have been up. You could argue that our minutes on him are a little conservative. You really could. Donovan Mitchell's price is up. I just don't know if we were just getting him at 6 something. I just don't know. I mean, Dallas is. I'm not worried about the matchup, but it's really him. Conley's been. It looks like Conley may be affecting his peripherals a little bit or something. Or I don't know. Maybe he's taking less shots, but I'm not that excited. I think Conley is the main one for me here. Gobert's okay. He's not aggressive enough for me, but the price is down on Gobert. I'll acknowledge that. On the Dallas side, Porzingis, I'm cool with working some exposure in, especially on DraftKings at 84. 9K is a stretch, but dude's been good. Tim Hardaway Jr. looks okay. I just don't see a ton here I like. If Porzingis was out, I'd be looking at Jalen Brunson. I'd be looking to do some things. Brunson's price has gotten down on FanDuel to where I think he's still in play. I don't hate DFS on FanDuel either, but on DraftKings, it's really just Hardaway, Porzingis. Seth Curry coming off an awesome game. Well, he showed a usage bump with Porzingis out. With Porzingis saying he goes back to just being, doing what's called upon, I guess. Right? Let me just check this RotoWire thing again. Oh, man. Yeah, RotoWire has Chris Boucher in there. Oh, my God. Cat's matchup just got... Oh, we got so much to break down in the second half of the show, guys. Oh, man. We got a lot. But, yeah, not a ton here. Porzingis is really it. Like I said, Hardaway on DraftKings. Finney-Smith and Brunson on FanDuel, though, I think are fine. Next up, we've got the Spurs and the Nuggets. Let's look at this. The Spurs. Oh, this total. Wow. This total is now 5.5. That's got to be a mistake. It says the total opened up at 221.5. Now it says it's down to 216. That's got to be a mistake. Denver opened up -7.5. They're up to -7. Welcome those of you popping in. Please hit that like button. Jazzy says Boucher must be starting. Saw his projection pop up to 26. So yeah, assuming. I think we're all assuming, but yeah, he very well may. They don't have anybody else, right? What are they going to do? They got Karl Anthony Towns. You can't go that small. Hopefully we get the confirmation, but obviously things just got real. On this slate, this got flipped upside down, like really. Giannis was something we knew was a possibility, but it went from like the value being weak to there being a ton of value now. So the slate dynamic changed pretty drastically. Going back to the Spurs side of the ball, I don't really love the prices here. The value is going to allow you to overspend on guys if you want. I just didn't see anything I really wanted. I don't like taking teams when they go into Denver. Denver plays slow. They're a good defensive team. They're getting healthy. I say that. They were that Will Barton. There just wasn't a ton here that really made me. I think DeJounte Murray was the one I was the most likely to try. I do think Aldridge is kind of interesting. I don't love the price, but assuming that Millsap's coming off the bench, Jokic just continues to get destroyed by center. So if LMA is starting against Jokic, if that's what they're doing, and Millsap is coming off the bench, if Millsap's in there, he's actually pretty good defense. It does make a difference. But when he's out, man, centers are still blowing up on Jokic. So he could be interesting. DeJounte Murray is the one I would like to play because of the upside. How can you project him for any more than 26 minutes? I mean, you just don't know. So there's not a ton from the Spurs side that I'm terribly interested in. On the Denver side, I think Will Barton's out, so I think Torrey Craig could play a lot. I do like him for value. Is he as strong as some of the other ones? We'll have to look at the projections and see. But he looks like a pretty strong option, at least on FanDuel. DraftKings not as high as you would think, but 5.7 is still decent. I think that Millsap played really well off the bench. I don't mind him off the bench because he kind of had all that to himself now that some of these guys are in the first unit. But remember, that they still don't have Michael Porter Jr., no Plumlee. They're still missing guys. Jordan McRae, I'm cool with. He played pretty well, I think, in his last role. Didn't get a ton of minutes, though. I'm cool with him to be aggressive on that second unit, take a bunch of shots. But I think Jamal Murray is my favorite if I would just straight up play from this game. He's just played really well. No Barton. I expect him and Jokic's usage to be up a little bit for Barton. I'm good with Jokic. I'm good with centers against the Spurs. I'm just waiting for Millsap to kind of start to interfere with him a little bit, which would be annoying. Because Jokic, man, he'll blend in the background. He seems to be comfortable with that. But not a game I'm dying to target. Next up, we got Miami against Golden State. We've got a shit. Well, first of all, Miami's on the back end of a back-to-back and a 4-6 stretch. Jimmy Butler, we did just get word, is questionable. Tyler Hero is out. The Bucks have officially signed Marvin Williams. So that just happened. So we're good with Illy today. Never mind. If they just signed his ass, I doubt, obviously, then I would doubt he jumps in right away. I don't know. Why Marvin Williams? I don't know. I just don't get it. Tyler Hero is the other note I had to get down here. So we've got a 218.5 total. Miami opened up as -6. They're down to -5. A very tough spot for them in the schedule. Miami has been playing really slow too, just so you guys like lately, especially really, really slow. Anyway, starting off with the Miami side, of course, a tough spot for him. If Jimmy Buckets is in, I don't mind his price, and he's the one that's been rested. He hasn't played in a couple games. So if Jimmy Butler is in, I will like Butler at his price. If Jimmy Butler is out, I will continue to like Goran Dragic. His usage on the second unit is massive. Came through for us yesterday. He was in our core yesterday. Came through. Had a couple other ones that didn't go as great, but he came through for us. He just loves to play against Portland for whatever reason. Anyway, I'd be fine with him. Kendrick Nunn at 6K, I'm not as big on, but at 4.6 on FanDuel, I like a lot. If Butler plays or not, Nunn just gets a lot of minutes in general. On DraftKings, I would need Butler out to come here. Crowder played really well in his last game, got 30 minutes. That was impressive. With Tyler Hero out, we'll have to raise Duncan Robinson's minutes. He's just played so many damn minutes lately with all these guys out, and Tyler Hero is literally the same player as him in terms of role. So without him, I would think they're going to continue to play him like they have. They played him a ton. Now maybe on the back-to-back things are different. We'll see, but got some adjustments to make here as well. But Hero being out is going to help Crowder. Andre Iguodala going back to Golden State. That could be fun. How many minutes did Iggy play last night? I mean, dude hasn't played all year. He played 23 minutes. That's actually not bad. 7.1% usage rate. That sucks, but he still managed 17 DraftKings points. So maybe we are a little conservative with Iggy. I was nervous. He hasn't played all season. Now it's a back-to-back, so I got a little nervous. So if Buckets is out, I'll raise his minutes back up. But again, keep in mind we have Buckets in as of now on this. Bam Adebayo, I do like. Centers against Golden State. I just like that spot, and I'll continue to like it, especially if Butler's out. On the Golden State side, Kai Bowman's price has come up. I think he's okay for tournaments, but now that we got a little stronger value elsewhere, I just don't think we're going to need him. Not a ton else I really like here, man. I mean, Marquise Chris's price is up, but he's looked really good. Draymond Green was out last time. I'm expecting him to come back, and that could change usage. That could change things around. Andrew Wiggins, even without Draymond, only got like 31 minutes in a close game against the Lakers. So I'm not sure. Like, it doesn't seem like they're trying to play their guys too many minutes. They don't want guys hurt. Jordan Poole balled out. His minutes were down. Not really a ton from the Golden State side. I'm more interested in the Miami side of this game. Last but not least, the Phoenix Suns and the Los Angeles Lakers. Where we at? We've got a... Shit. Okay, so the Suns have had a day off, but they are on a 4-6 stretch. The Lakers have had a day off as well. Just kind of chilling at home. 229.5 total. So it is tied for the Bucks game with the second highest total. That's risen half a point from 229. The Lakers opened up minus 11.5. They're up to minus 12. Blowout potential is here. Ricky Rubio continues to be softly priced. He continues to play soft as well. Kind of a situation you got to make a decision on. DeAndre Ayton is questionable. That's pretty big news. Ayton, like I said earlier, he rolled his ankle and all that stuff, and he came back in the game and played 40-something minutes, but apparently the next day it blew up. He may legitimately miss the game, and if he does, they don't have bigs. I mean, I don't expect Baines to be ready just yet. I mean, we can check the status and see. I haven't heard anything, but I don't think they have any bigs. If he's out, they may have to play Check Diallo because the Lakers are big. Like, what are you going to do? They're just a big team. You can't just not play them. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what they do. I'm going to go. Let me just check Phoenix's news real quick to see. Nah, it looks like Baines is expected to be out. Yep, expected to be out. So, it's a rough situation, I think, in general. But Rubio projects well. He's been inconsistent. Devin Booker projects really well for us, too. He was a stud. I know that you can see a 5.7 on DraftKings. On FanDuel, it's not as high. Kelly Oubre on FanDuel, I like a lot. I like Oubre on DraftKings, too, but when you're going to put anytime he's under 7, the dude is playing 40 minutes. You figure if he averages fantasy point per minute, like he's going to hit you value every time if he's under 7. So, obviously, it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes he has really terrible games. Sometimes he gets into foul trouble. It happens. But probability-wise, I'll do that long term. I'll just keep going back to that spot. So, Oubre on FanDuel, Booker on DraftKings, Ricky Rubio on both. He's cheap. He could screw you, but it is what it is. DeAndre Ayton's really expensive. I mean, we've seen centers do work against the Lakers, even though they're big. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little nervous to pay 9.3 for him if he's in, but he's been getting monster minutes. The Suns have played the Lakers close twice already this year, but if Ayton's out, I'm a little nervous about how close they keep this game. With that said, I still will be playing a lot of Booker and probably Rubio today on DraftKings. And if Ayton's out, I may have to check Diallo. I don't know. I don't want to, but who else? That is small. On the Lakers side of the ball, Anthony Davis is probably one of my favorite studs. He hasn't had a great game against the Suns yet, surprisingly, even though it's a phenomenal matchup. But I like AD, man. I'm good with LeBron. I gave AD more minutes because he's played a little more, even in garbage type games. I don't know if they're trying to stretch him out because he missed for a while, but they've been leaving him in there a little longer at times. So I do prefer Anthony Davis over LeBron, but I'm fine. If you're going to have the money to get some studs if you want to do it, I'm cool with it. But I kind of like the idea of just getting some extra mid-tier plays at the same time, so we'll have to see. But Anthony Davis was probably the strongest stud at the time. Now we have to reassess with Karl Anthony Towns' emergence and all these kind of things. His spot got a little better, all that. Now we have value. We can actually afford people. So we'll have to come back. Nation, I appreciate y'all rocking with me for the first half of the show. I will be updating the projections, of course. Yes, I think Middleton's in play. So is Brogdon. Yes, Nick, Giannis is out. So, yeah, we got to go ahead. I'm going to make some adjustments. Take a little break. We'll be back in about 5 minutes or so. You know the deal. We'll be back on the second half of the show with Paulie D. We'll talk some game theory, try to answer some questions if there's time. We'll be building our teams at the same time. And more importantly, the whole point of the show, most importantly, is keep you guys updated with the news. So, got a lot of changes coming. If you're a subscriber at WiseTake.com, the projections are about to be adjusted. Stay tuned with us, rock with us, and you'll know when we've updated what. Be ready to make some moves. I'll make some updates to the article as well when there's time. But we'll be back in about 5 minutes, Nation. Just hang tight. Not going to go nowhere. Just going to play some background music. We'll be right back right here. No new streams or nothing. Hit that like button while we're gone. We'll be back shortly.
What we do here is go back.
What up, nation? We are back. See. All right, I think we are back. Yeah, I don't know, man. My little stream program just went out, but we are back for part 2 of the second half of the NBA Wise stream. Joined by the GOAT, the true OG, but you guys know him as Paulie D, and you can find him on Twitter at Paulie with 8 Ds. As a matter of fact, Paulie, what's happening?
What's up? We just got the news bomb hitting us hard. So we adjusting, we adapting, we doing the dirt.
Yep, I did make the adjustment for Giannis on our projections. I made the adjustment for Ibaka. D'Lo just got ruled in. I already had him in. Maybe I give him a minute here, but there's a lot of value now that we didn't have before. Guys like Chris Boucher, Ronald Hollis Jefferson, Ersan Ilyasova, all these guys that are just going to play a lot more. So like I was saying, Paulie, like earlier outside of like Oladipo, I didn't like the value all that much. Like DiVincenzo, sure. Now we like him even more, but it was looking more balanced for me. And now, I mean, I would assume everybody's going to be stars and scrubs to a degree with all the value I have lying around. What about you, man? Like, what are your overall thoughts? I know you're still like absorbing a lot of this stuff. This stuff just got dropped on you, all the news. But where are you at? Like, what are you thinking? We've got the Middleton Bledsoe situation. We knew that was a possibility. We talked about that earlier. Where are you at here? Ibaka's out. Like what it is?
Yeah, seems like it's like there's not a ton of studs to really spend up for, so it's like that, scrubs and mid-tier stars kind of build. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we can go grab like Trae Young, but like, Bledsoe and Middleton, those aren't going to be expensive stars. You got Siakam, who's like an 8K guy. It's not like we're going up to get like Harden and guys like that, so you're going to have like more of a balanced stars and scrubs build. It's not the the usual stars and pay all the way up kind of thing. You know what I mean? You're muted.
Damn. Yeah, absolutely. And then I completely agree. I think obviously there's Cat, there's AD, there's all these guys, but some of them like Cat I do like a lot more. I liked AD the most before. I think Cat is gonna pass him. Number one, we got D'Lo running the pick and roll. Number two, the matchup just got even softer against Ibaka. But outside of that, I still it's not gonna take me off of like the Aaron Fox, who's not quite a stud, but not quite, he's like 7'4", a mid tier, but whatever. But I agree with you. Right. I agree with you. I don't necessarily want to overreact. I think I'm gonna use the value to just get me more of the guys I already liked. Dirty style. With that said, Paulie, let's get into some of the talk, man. Let's get into some of the studs, man. And, let's talk while we wait for the rest of this news. Let's talk about studs. Who are the ones that you like the most? I guess it's a weird slate. I guess we'll take it down to 8K because I'm assuming you don't like a ton of like studs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Trey Young, the guy's just got the highest ceiling on the slate and does it the most consistently. So, like, we got the money. You might as well build him into your lineups. We don't really love, attacking Orlando, but this is Atlanta. It's got a high total, and he's the dude on Atlanta that's going to do the dirt. So I'll take that as like the highest end stud. But, you know, Siakam, yeah, Middleton, I know he's 7'9", but we'll include Middleton in this part of the discussion. Vucevic against Atlanta, Devin Booker, Trey Young. Kristaps too, who's automatic 50 every time what's his name ain't around.
Yeah, no, for sure. This is wild. Middleton, bro, what's he like 7'9"? I mean, we were saying it's almost like DraftKings like saw this coming. Then you look at his game logs and you see he's just been balling. So that's probably why he's expensive, because even when Giannis there, he's just been playing well. What is your interest level on that? We're assuming that Bledsoe at the very least. Middleton, I'm not sure. Do you think Middleton is chalk? I mean, that's the common formula. He's just never been this expensive while this has happened.
I mean, I definitely still like him. I mean, he's, viable to go for like a 60 if the game stays close. And Sacramento's been playing well, and Milwaukee without Giannis is just a mediocre team at best. It's in Milwaukee, 230 total. Yeah, I like him, and I hope the field is kind of scared off, because I think he still could have the highest raw score on the slate with how weak the studs are today. So I'm with him.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree. Let's talk about some of the mid-tier guys. Talk to me. Obviously, we got the Middleton, the Bledsoes. Talk to me about some of the other mid-tier plays that you're looking at. Are you as high on Bledsoe as you are on Middleton?
Yes. Yeah. Do like Bledsoe, just kind of gots to at this point, especially because it's Sacramento and they're playing fast and not playing good D. Who else we got? I like the shooters in Sacramento: Bogdanovich, Bielitsa, Aaron Fox. I like the scorers in Orlando: Evan Fournier, Aaron Gordon. I like Karis LeVert. I like Christian Wood. Donnie Mitchell's got a nice cheap price tag. I like Goran Dragic. That's probably the main names kind of in the mid-tier that I'm rolling with.
Yeah, I feel you. Now, if Jimmy Butler gets ruled in, I don't think he's going to play. I just don't know why he would, but they have been losing a lot. If he gets ruled in, would that affect Dragic for you?
Yeah, it would definitely lower him.
Okay. Fair enough. He's been playing really well. Right? So, I would agree. Just because that may be a minute or two less. Plus, if he's on the court with buckets, that's going to be a little low usage. So, I think it makes sense. Talk to me about the value plays. We got a lot now. Victor Oladipo was headlining the value, but now we have value that's going to project even stronger. And you don't need all of it. So, are you more likely to stay with Oladipo, or now are you shifting over to the Bouchers and the Ilyasovas and the whatnots and the who knows? Where are you at with the value today?
Yeah, I mean, I do like Oladipo. Malik Beasley, I still like more than him. I think he's just going to kind of flourish in that role and take a ton of shots. Even with, I should say, though, that was prior to D'Lo. I got to think about that. I still do like him, and I don't know if D'Lo takes a ton away. He could. I got to think about that. But I like Oladipo and Beasley. I like DiVincenzo and Terrence Davis. Terrence Davis seems to get a ton of minutes for them. I know he's not a big, but next man up in that rotation. Chris Boucher, Ersan Ilyasova, OG Anunoby, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. Those are kind of the main ones I think you want to look at this point. You're muted.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely curious to see what these starting lineups look like as we do get them. Man, let's see. So going back to the value, where are you in terms of DiVincenzo? At this point, because you have the Oladipo pivot, right? You have that. Well, I guess he would be the pivot off Oladipo. Are you likely to pivot due to ownership, or are you just nah, man, I can't take Oladipo's got too big of a ceiling. I can't do that kind of switch.
I think it'd be playing both versus the pivot.
Yeah, true.
You know?
But again, here's the thing: if you're gonna play them both, you got Ilyasova, Boucher. You don't need them all, especially if you're not looking to go superstars and
Yep.
scrubsy. So like if you had to pick a couple of them to get more mid tier, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like it gets. Obviously it depends on the build, and people like you and me are playing a lot of different teams, so it's hard to like quantify. But I guess who are you more likely to get more of? Do you think is essentially what I'm asking.
Oladipo,
Yeah, it just feels a little bit like just for ceiling.
Brooklyn. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, he could have like a 5 steal on top of everything else game. You know, finally going to probably have a good shooting game. Probably get to the free throw line a lot. DiVincenzo could really still fall behind everybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Where are you at? Oh, go ahead.
Thinking about Boucher, Rondae Hollis, and
Yeah.
Anunoby, like how I'm going to rank those 3.
Yeah, that's tough.
Tricky.
That is tricky.
Dicky.
Tricky, no doubt. Tricky, dicky, no doubt. Oh boy, gotta make some of these adjustments real quick. As far as games go, like, or we know with certain teams that stand out. Talk to me about some of the game stacks though that you think are interesting today.
So always Atlanta, you know, even though it's not against an optimal opponent. Sacramento, Milwaukee, now that game, you know, looks to be significantly closer. Minnesota, Toronto, now that game should be closer with those, you know, very little defense being played, no rim protection, etc. Those 3 would probably be my favorites.
Which ones was it? I know you said
Atlanta, Orlando, Milwaukee, Sacramento, and Minnesota, Toronto.
In the Orlando side, are you worried about the Atlanta side at all?
Worried how?
Well, it's a 4-6, a back-to-back. They played a double overtime game yesterday and then traveled to Orlando. Are you worried about some of these guys? And like, because some of these guys played monster minutes. DeAndre Hunter, it looks like he's going to play, but he played like 40-plus minutes. Collins played like 48 minutes. You know, Trae Young played 48 minutes. They played ridiculous amounts of minutes.
Yeah, a little, you know, but they are very, very young.
They are young.
But sure, you know, that's a brutal schedule plus the double overtime and the travel. So, yeah, that's a bit of a concern. You know, I guess I would say, like, if I had to rank, you'd go backwards. Minnesota, Toronto, Sacramento, Milwaukee, then Atlanta, Orlando.
Fair enough. Let's see if there's any questions from the nation. Staircase built, baby. Holla. If y'all have any questions, get them in there now. I'm going to be going back and forth between the YouTube streams and everything else as I update these projections for the WiseTake Nation. If you haven't hit that like button, guys, please hit that like button. It really goes a long way. It really helps us out. It allows us to continue to do the videos and allows us to get pushed and recommended more. And, I mean, come on. You mean to tell me the world couldn't use more of these guys? Come on. Come on. You know? Fair enough. I guess talk to me about like cash games. Are you starting even at these prices? Are you starting with Middleton, Bledsoe, Illy, cash, just boom? I know Illy obviously, but
yeah, I think throw all 3 of them in. Throw Oladipo and Boucher, and then Porzingis. Right? I mean, I don't know. Is he projecting to be popular? He should. He's not. So maybe not him. I mean, he's down there. He's like 10th. Looks like the field is more into Jokic. Cool. I'm fine with that. Looks like the field's a little more into Bam. Looks like the field's a little more into Vucevic. I think I'd throw Vucevic in if not Porzingis for me.
Yeah, man, I don't mind Vuce at all. He's in a really good spot. I think on an ownership level, I don't expect him to be too crazy popular, although I expect his ownership to maybe go up a little. You know who I want to talk to you about? Bielitsa. Talk to me about Bielitsa for a second. So, you know, we had this talk about him playing the center. Now, Jabari's lingering. If Jabari's in, it kind of messes the whole thing up. But as I'm looking at this, when I was doing my crunches earlier, I was getting like 80-some% Bielitsa, and that wasn't me doing anything. I'm just playing like what they really are playing, and he was the one that was by far one of the better priced. However, now he still projects well. His projection doesn't change for me at the moment. But because I have Illy and Boucher and Hollis Jefferson and now Siakam with a boost, I find myself getting a lot, like I'm getting less of him naturally. So before I fight this, what are your thoughts on that situation? Am I crazy for liking so much of the Kings? Because I love the Kings, man. I just feel like they're all underpriced. You know,
they're playing well. I like them too. I really do. You know, they're playing well. They're doing dirties on the reg, shooting well, right? And then we get this Milwaukee team that's the fastest in the NBA without Giannis. So, you know, much more likely to be close. And they're really not playing anyone on their bench. It's like Bielitsa, Bogdanovich, Hield, and Fox. Like those four guys, you could probably play three of them together on a team and be fine.
That's where I was at. It just kind of naturally. And now it's a situation where obviously you like the other guys as well. So it's like now it just looks like Game Stack City at this point. Oh, man. Let me ask you to go on. I know I'm bouncing around here, but going back to Chris Boucher, who's 3,400 on DraftKings and 42 on FanDuel. And we're only assuming that he's going to, we don't know the starting lineup, and it looks like. So we're still waiting. Hawks starting lineup is out, by the way. Hawks looks the same. Trae Young, Huerter, Hunter, Collins, Jones. So same deal. Going back to the Boucher thing, man. Like, Ibaka had a problem with foul trouble whenever he plays Cat. I'm a little worried, man. Like, I'm a little. I mean, you got to have a lot. I mean, you got to grab some. But I'm just saying, like, how worried are you if he starts about the Cat D? Not the
Not
foul
much.
trouble is really what I'm worried about.
Yeah, not much. Can't really worry about that all that much. You know what I mean?
Got to close your eyes and do it.
Yeah, I mean, I like Siakam a shit ton now. I think he just goes ham, against Cat, whoever. There's not much D being played there.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I obviously embrace this projection. I am getting more of him as well. 41 points. Oh, shit.
I didn't shit.
Oh, damn. 41. What did I say? What number did I just say? 41 point.
7.
Was it 7? Yeah, it was. Oh, shit. You're good, man. It was 7. Shit. All right, then. Bet. Messing around with me. So talk to me about the point guards. I know you like Bledsoe a lot. So I like Fox a ton. It sounds like you like Fox too. Now we got Kyle Lowry lingering. Kyle Lowry, 7'3", 7'1". No Ibaka. He's going to get a bump. He plays big minutes. Like, as far as point guards go, I guess, like, for me, it's like Bledsoe, Fox in terms of like how much I get. And I think the next one I want is Lowry.
Bledsoe, Fox, Lowry. Yep, them three. That's it. And if Butler stays out, Dragic. But he's got to be in a 4-6 situation too, right?
Yes.
It feels like Miami played like every day.
Yes, and they haven't played very well. They're on like a big losing streak right now without buckets. Well, that in combination with the fact, like you said, they're across the country getting dirtied on. It's not easy. Man, where are you with Trae Young tonight, man? I know we talked about Atlanta generally, but Trae Young specifically, do you think he continues to get his 40 plus? And even if he does, do you think he's got the legs to do the dirt?
Yeah, like, you did bring up a good point with like how worked he is. He's a guy who depends on the long range shot, but not a ton of rim protection in Orlando. So, like, if he's smart,
on that, yeah,
right, he can go to the hoop and hopefully get fouled a lot. But he has played well in back-to-backs, to some degree. That, like, he's a real young kid. I don't know how much it will, but if it's ever going to, like, today is the day for that. Like, normally I'd be getting a ton of him if he was rested, but I'm probably gonna not go as heavy on him and just kind of play more Middleton and Siakam and Vucevic and even maybe some LeBron and AD.
Yeah, I didn't hate that idea. Like that's a situation. AD was initially my favorite stud. I've kind of pivoted in terms of studs to Towns, but I'm still gonna play some AD. He's still in a phenomenal spot. What do you think of that last game? And obviously it's one of the late night games, one of the last ones going. Anthony Davis in a phenomenal spot. The Suns have played the Lakers close twice already. We saw them beat the shit out of the Rockets. That hurt for you and I. But I mean, they did phenomenal. It's just they were like, we're talking about 70s and 80s they were on pace for, and they ended up finishing with like just good tournament scores. So that's why it sucked. But anyway, talk to me about what you think of that situation. What kind of stance you're willing to take in that game?
Not huge stance wise, but I will have some stacks. Booker, LeBron, Booker, AD, LeBron. Like the Lakers, where it's coming from, so it's just like which one or both. I really like Rubio's price today. We just got to see if Ayton's playing or not. Without Ayton, I am definitely concerned. Like that's kind of a tough hit. But if Ayton's in, I think the game will stay close. I don't think the Lakers are all that good.
Yeah. Well, the other aspect, of course, is if while I agree with you that they're likely to get blown out if he's out, on the same note, the usage for the surrounding players should be phenomenal, right? Like Devin Booker he might take 50 shots if that's the case. You know what I mean? Shit.
Yeah.
Rookie Rubio, that might be what he needs, is to just be asked to like fucking shoot the ball once in a while. I don't know. What's up with him, man? Like, what happened to him?
I don't know.
What is he hurt? Maybe it's a feelings hurt thing? Did somebody tell him like, bro, this is Booker's team, you need to chill? Like, dude just fell off a cliff.
I don't know. He is old.
Yeah. Truisms.
Truisms. He has gone through the weird patch where he just doesn't do the dirty. Then
he does do the dirty.
Looks like dirty day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
No, he's not shooting well. So that doesn't help.
No, that's true. That's true, no doubt. By the way, your camera is frozen, just so you know. Just a little heads up action on you. So why don't you give me your? I know you just put out your cheat sheet, and your cheat sheet. Well, it'll be up shortly, Nation. I just saw Paulie put it in for production, so it'll be published shortly. At least it should be. I'll double check that. But in the meantime, talk to me about point guard specifically. Fox, Bledsoe, Lowry. Then what? I know, bro. I know you're not frozen still. I can see the small details. I know. I can see the small little. I saw the tiny little shake moving. I'm like, no. Thug life. And then you get a phone call for real. It goes on hold just like that. That's the Paulie D style. Pretend to freeze, then really go on hold right quick. There's a phone call.
What was the question?
So after Fox, Bledsoe, Lowry, who are the next point guards for you after that?
Fox, Bledsoe, Lowry, Trey and LeBron, and then my value pieces like DiVincenzo, Clarkson, Terrence Davis. Jamal Murray's been balling, but the price is kind of up there. Not an optimal matchup. Mike Conley's been playing much better, but doesn't really do a ton for me. Maybe Malcolm Brogdon at 6'9" against Brooklyn would probably be next on the list.
Yeah, I could see that. It's interesting. Since this Boucher and everything opened up, I'm not getting nearly as much Oladipo as I was, which makes me wonder. I would think the answer is yes, but I would assume his ownership is going to drop, right? Like he was looking at massive ownership before, but now you got dudes that are cheaper, and you don't need all three of those guys. You don't need Depot, Boucher, and Illy. Well, for some teams, sure, you could try it, but for the general consensus of what we're even liking, if you like that mid-tier shit, you're not even going to need all those guys. So it's interesting to see how the ownership's gonna switch. Marvin Williams is officially a member of the Bucks. I'm assuming they said that today. He's officially a member of the Bucks today, so I'm assuming he's gonna be available, right?
I think so.
He will be available.
He wasn't hurt.
No, he wasn't hurt.
He's a member.
Just came right in.
That means he cleared, whatever.
The physicals or whatever they were doing.
Like that, yeah.
Damn, that makes me nervous, man. About Illy,
I know.
That makes me a little nervous about my man Illy. Illy, who's barely in the rotation as is. What are their plans? Marvin Williams, I don't get it. What the fuck?
Yeah, why'd they even get?
That's what I'm saying. What did you guys see in him? Huh? You know what I mean? I don't know. We got some old buddy shit.
Answer that. Mm-hmm.
I ain't got nothing for you on that one, man. Shit. Now I gotta balance these projections out because it's trying to give me a ton of those guys, and I want a lot of them, but I'm trying to give me a little break so you don't give me all of them. And I don't. There's other players on the slate that I have to have in my life. Shit. Are you worried about that at all with him? For real? Marvin Williams?
A tad.
I mean, if Illy starts, you'll feel better, right?
Last time, Illy didn't really do much.
Yeah.
He kind of hurt us.
As many minutes as we thought he would get. You're right. Last time in this situation, yeah, that is true.
Was no I think they kind of smoked the game, and maybe that's why. But I don't know. I don't think he's as automatic as Bledsoe and Middleton. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
say you're playing 50% Bledsoe and Middleton, like I'd probably only play 25 Illy, because like a Shea could certainly outscore him because Illy only plays 20 minutes. Shea plays 35, stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. What the fuck number does this say? Boucher 26.93. I'm just trying to lower him to something manageable. I don't need him projected for no 30 points. I already know he's a good player. You don't gotta shove him down my throat like that. That's crazy. That's just crazy. Rondae Hollis, Jefferson, Boucher. Which one you like more?
It seemed like they liked Hollis Jefferson more, but Boucher's position is thinner. So I'd say Boucher.
Yeah, see, that's what's interesting to me is like, I don't know which player they like more. Like, obviously, like, you don't want to go small against Cat, but you don't really have a choice. It's not like Boucher's the biggest player in the world either. RHJ used to play some 5 for Brooklyn. So, like, I don't know. Like, are they going to split the 5 minutes? Obviously, Siakam is a little bigger. He could play some 5, but they seem to like him also playing the 4 and the 3 at times. So, I mean, I'm curious. Like, would this be a situation where you would want one or the other, like a rule? Like, don't give me both, this can be one or the other? Or do you think you could play them both because they're so cheap and they're still going to play regardless?
I think you can play them both.
Because they're so cheap, right? Like, even if they both got 20 minutes apiece, they could still give you, like, enough at those prices.
Yeah, they're big point per minute players. I mean,
Huge.
Be nice if, like, OG was out of the picture, too, but
yeah,
still be liking them both.
Liking them both. I'll give them a little boost because Paulie likes them both. I'll raise him just a quarter minute up to 22.97. Hollis, 22.97. But yeah, I think you're right in terms of Illy. He's the one I want to check. Because you're right. There was one game where he went nuts, and if you didn't have him, you felt like the biggest moron. We had him that day. The problem is we also had him the next time this happened. And like you said, he got like 20 minutes or something like that, 19, and it really sucked. Now, if he gets full minutes, I'm not worried about Illy. If you're going to give Illy a full 30 minutes or even 26 minutes, I'm fine. The problem is we're not guaranteed that because the last time he was in this situation, they didn't. And that makes me nervous, especially with Marv hanging around. So maybe I'll lower his projection a little bit. Big Bad Marv. How shitty do you got to feel if you're Ilyasova? Like, wait, they just signed who? They signed a guy that a team who's probably the worst team in the league didn't want, and now he's gonna take my job or at least be up for it. Like, you know what I mean? I'd be pissed.
Yep.
We got about.
That's not what's up.
No, that's not what's up. We got about 26 minutes to Lock Nation. I'm gonna go into the chat, start firing off some questions if you got them ready. Just trying to do some little adjustments right quick, and then I'll start popping them off, firing them away. Trying to lower, just to explain those of you who are using our projections, I'm trying to lower Illy a tad just to not give you, I don't want the optimizers to give us like 100%. So I'm trying to like, work a little some. It's going to be hard because it's so damn cheap. It doesn't take much for him to project well, but we'll figure that shit out though. That's what we do. 23.18 though. All right.
Whose projection I don't really like?
Who?
Andrew Wiggins.
Well, what's he projected for?
35. I think he should go higher.
Let's see. Wiggins. Jabari Parker ruled out. Holla, I'm playing Bielitsa. Let's go. Anyway, what'd you say? What was you saying? Wiggins.
Andrew Wiggins.
Wiggins, yes, okay. All right, so Wiggins, I got him in for 32.25 minutes right now. And the reason I did that is because in the last game, he only played 31. Even though the game was close against the Lakers and Draymond was out, Draymond's expected to be in for this one. So I was a little, like, I didn't really know what to do with him. But do you think we should raise his minutes up a little bit here? What was his usage like? Let's look at that. 26, it's really not a big change from when he was at Minnesota, which is probably a good thing on a team that may be even a little worse at this point. Are they worse than, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's a tough one. All right, we could raise his minutes a bit. Where would you put him? Like 34-ish?
Yeah, 34 and a half.
34 and a half. Holla for $1. Let's see I'll tell you what that brings him. Straight up. Straight up.
Yeah. Like another practice.
Yeah.
They were playing D'Lo big ass minutes.
Yeah, they were. No, that's true. I thought that was weird in the last game. They didn't really play anybody big ass minutes. Like Wiggins got one of the most at 31. You know what I mean? So if we make, what's that?
That game was weird altogether.
It was.
Like,
even if I put him at 35 or 35, I think it was 34 and a half. We'd have to probably put him at like 36 or higher to move the ball, just because they're also playing a really slow team in Miami. Paulie, if you hear me, but I feels you though. Rashawn Holmes out for at least 2 more games. Oh yeah, so I'm about to fire away. I'm about to get some more Bielitsa action going down. Yeah, I'm excited about this, especially with all these guys. Like, see, there's a point where it's like you can see like those guys that punt this position, it just doesn't go well, and maybe it's wishful thinking. But I think Bielitsa is going to play a lot of center. What is your take on the Giles thing, man? Like, I know he played 28. We looked into that. It was like blowout city. He closed with a bunch of scrubs.
What I don't understand, if you want to play him that in a blowout and he's playing well in the regular game, why not play him some more when you're desperate for size and rebound? But right. I think they've been winning without playing him a lot. Like, they're not going to just play him more unless someone gets in the foul trouble or something.
Right, and do you think they're more, or they're probably less likely to need him as much now with Giannis out, right? Like, it's just Brolo and Rolo, right? The Rolo combo. You know what I mean? Rolo Incorporated, that's what they do. All right, let me do some crunches and see. All right, now I'm going to pull up some questions. I'm going to start with the WiseTake Nation members. Small forward value. What's up?
Did you give Middleton?
What did I give Middleton?
Yeah.
Middleton.
Since the Giannis.
I gave him an extra boost to incorporate the use or the actual projection.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
6.2.
44.72. And it's giving me around like 87% of him. So I may have to lower that a drop or something. We'll see. It's still going. Like, it's not finished. You know how that goes. It'll like lower later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to have to make some adjustments too to Mr. Boucher. Just keep doing it, but it keeps on doing it then. I keep doing it then, it keeps on doing it then. So back to the questions. We had small forward value for FanDuel. Small forward value. Let's see what we got though. Oh, wait, I got to update this real quick.
Shit, they projected Boucher for 31 points, FC.
Yeah, man. Like, if you run that by itself, it's going to give you like 100. It's going to give you 100, no doubt. So on FanDuel, OG Anunoby is 4,100. I think he sees a boost in this situation in some way, right? Both from a usage, rebounds, everything. So he's one of the stronger value plays as of right now, I'd say, on FanDuel at 41. It's not value, but I personally like Kelly Oubre at 6'7". Hardaway is only 4'8" against Utah. I'm okay with that. Obviously, one of the more scoring dependent options. But I think the top value play from what I see on FanDuel, I would consider it to be OG at small forward. Holla if you hear me.
Yeah.
I don't mind Crowder if what's his name is out. Crowder played 35 minutes last night, bro.
Did you see the shot that Bojan hit to beat the Rockets yesterday?
No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't even realize he did that.
Oh, deep three. Oh, yeah. Just like in people's grill.
Like Dame
saw some passion on the Rockets. Man, it is going to be hard to win the West this year. Whatever team wins the West, salute. Because, oh my God, a team like Utah would be like the 6th seed. It's going to be hard to get through.
There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. I mean, I guess I should give Crowder more minutes, huh? Like, I didn't have him for. I mean, we're waiting on the Butler news still, but Crowder played 35 minutes last night, man. That's pretty wild. That is. Man,
I totally forgot about his punk ass.
Yeah, man, punk ass is right. I put him at. What did I put him at? Oh, I didn't put him that far behind. I'll give him 30. Oh shit, I'll give him 30 until I know that. What's his name is out. But on FanDuel, he's 4,200. That was why I asked, because it kind of relates to the question. But I still prefer OG for the time being. B Super Pack says how. Oh, missed a bit. How to expect minutes to be distributed? How do we expect the minutes to be distributed between Boucher and RHJ? I would.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, Boucher, I think you can see like 28 from, and RHJ probably a tad beneath that, like 24-ish. Boucher, you can see like 28 to 32, I would say. And RHJ, like 22 to 26.
Right.
Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree. I don't really see either of them getting a full 30, right? Like you expect them to kind of by the end of it, because they're going to shuffle guys around. It's not just like just those two are playing center. They're going to use a little bit of this of maybe Siakam down low. There may be a point where Cat's out of the game and they can try going a little smaller or so. But between it all, I would say I expect them to both get somewhere in the mid-20s, low to mid-20s each. One of them could certainly hit it. I just don't know which one's going to get it. So the starting lineup should tell you what you need to know, right? Like if we see Boucher starting, then that's their preferred approach. That would assume that's their preferred approach.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that's how it'll go. If Boucher's getting sliced up down there, it doesn't mean that'll go. But dirty style. Do you like Devin Booker today? That's my own personal thing.
Yeah, I
Me
do.
too.
A lot.
Me too. I like him a lot. I like him a lot.
He's playing awesome.
Yeah, he's been a freak. He's been a true freak. Are you able to pull up some of the YouTube stuff and make a couple tweaks to these things? I'm going to ask you a couple more before you answer that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bang out the Ystream ones. You just handled the FanDuel the YouTube ones, but McGee or Rondo for cash. DK Util won a piece of that last game. I don't think either of those two are cash plays. Wig, right? Like,
sorry, can't either of them in cash.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I really wouldn't do it in cash. I mean, you don't even
have to put value on the slate. Like
you
shouldn't need to go that.
Yeah, agreed.
Any site on any format, no.
I agree.
GPP, go for it.
Yeah, GPPs, you can take a shot. Levert or Buddy Hield on FanDuel?
Levert.
I say Levert on FanDuel as well. Towns or Vooch on FanDuel?
Vooch, but it's close.
It's close. I give the edge to Towns. I think that his matchup just got a whole lot better. That's the highest total game on the slate. But I do like Vooch today as a center option for sure. And on FanDuel, he's cheaper than he is on DraftKings, which is a plus. Holla if you hear me. All right, Paulie, I'm gonna kick it to you, bro, to help out the YouTube nation while I make some adjustments to the WiseTake Nation's projections. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let me know when I can upload them.
Gotcha.
So top center. Not sure which site you're talking about. Slick's Pick 6. Oh, I guess you're talking about FanDuel. Let me take a look at FanDuel right quick. I'll come back to that question as FanDuel is loading cock. Oubre or Wiggins? Wiggins. D-Lo and Cat together on FanDuel? Sure. I actually do like D-Lo. I think guys on new teams, like especially like Minnesota that got absolutely nothing to play for, they'll just let a guy go off like they kind of let Beasley do the other day. Marvin unlikely to play. Yeah, we know that now. RHJ or Ersan? Good question. Ownership would say Ersan. I think you could honestly flip a coin there. If you put a gun to my head, I'll go RHJ. I'm a little concerned about Ilyasova. FanDuel. Come on, FanDuel. I see Slick Pick 6 got another FanDuel question. I will come back to you, my friend. Best two values of the night. For me, it's going to be Boucher and Beasley. Center plays on FanDuel. All right, we'll come back to that. Reggie Jackson, Booker, and Warren, or Dragic, D'Lo, and Oubre. Reggie, Booker, and Warren. Dragic, D'Lo, and Oubre. If Butler is out, I'll take the Dragic one. But if Butler is not, I'll take the Reggie Jackson one. It would be nice to have the Ayton news. Yeah, it would. But, man. Yeah, if Ayton's out, just makes that Dragic one even better. And Butler's likely out. So, yeah, I'm probably on that Dragic D'Lo Bray one, especially if Ayton's out. Diallo would be better than Ersan if Ayton got ruled out. I think Diallo's going to get minutes today anyway because the Lakers are so big. So I kind of expect Diallo to see the high end of his range of minutes. LeBron, Fox, or Cat Booker? Ooh. Damn, you guys got some tough ones today. Give me Cat Booker. Best value point guard. Terrence Davis or Malik Beasley if he's point guard eligible. I forget. Malik Beasley. Nope, he's just shooting guard. So yeah, Terrence Davis at point guard or Dante DiVincenzo or Victor Oladipo. But I go Terrence Davis. I think I got FanDuel loaded. Yeah. All right. So let's go back to Slick Pick 6. Slick's Pick 6. I like that. All right. So top center on DZ. So for raw points, you can say Cat. Point per dollar. Give me Vooch. What was his other questions? Best value on FanDuel. All right. Let's see, all positions. I'm just taking this shit off our projections. Chris Boucher, 4,200. I do not know what Beasley's price on FanDuel is. Must not be that good though. There he is, 47. I like Beasley too. Uber Wiggins, or RHJ, or Ersan RHJ. Chris on FanDuel. Is he center on FanDuel? I think so. Where are you, Marcus, Chris? Talking about Marcus Worcester. He's 5,800. A little stiff, a little tight, but he's all right. I don't think I'd go there. I think I'd go all the way up or all the way. I don't know. There's not really much down there, but yeah, I don't think I'd go to Marquez, Chris, but you could. Go Vooch. Yeah, I'd say go Vooch, like pick 6. McLaughlin again today, boys, and Towns. They about smash. Arizona drama with my boy D'Lo playing. It's tough to go after McLaughlin again. Duncan Robinson with just a weird emoji face. You can always play Duncan Robinson, but more so on DraftKings. Reggie Jackson, Bruce Brown, and Woods stack okay. Yeah, I think that's all right. I would probably run something back from the Charlotte side, one of those guards probably, whoever Reggie Jackson's going to guard, or Cody Zeller. Let's see.
We got about 10 minutes to lock, Nation. I think we're at this point we are good to go with the projections.
All right, upload City Nation. Let's all do that. If you was doing MME, which I hope by now you're trying at least a little bit, because that's the way, that's the ticket, that's the path to success in DFS.
Success.
Especially using these projections.
Project City.
Good to me. I haven't really been good to them, if you know what I mean. I don't know.
You got a starting lineup: D'Angelo Russell, Beasley, Okogie, Hernan Gomez, Towns. What are your thoughts on Hernan Gomez, man? I know now we have other stuff that just feels stronger, but what's your take on that?
Yeah. I left off on Darius 11, John Collins' question. If you go back, I need to upload some shit, but I I don't know. I don't think you need to really, if you're building a lot of teams, 5-10% of him, but he can go off like on us, but there's just a lot of other action on the slate at this point.
Yeah,
it seems like
that's how I felt as well. Where did you leave off with the questions? I'll answer a couple right quick.
Gary's like 11, I think it was. It was like a John Collins versus Bam question.
On FanDuel, that's a tough question. Collins on any other night, I'd say Collins. The only reason I'm going to say Bam is because I'm nervous about the back-to-back 4 and 6, all that shit. I'm just worried they're not going to play him the big minutes. But he is cheap. He's 7.5 on FanDuel. I do recognize that. I still, Bledsoe or Fox for cash. Bledsoe and cash. I love Fox in general. But you can play them both in cash for all I care. But Bledsoe, if you're asking me to pick one, Bledsoe. He's the one with the big boost, right? Arizona drama. He already is ruled in. De'Aaron Fox says, I don't think Russell will play much. You don't think he'll play much. I don't know, man. They just bought 1,000 tickets for the game Wednesday for D'Angelo Russell and his home debut. They bought him and Kat bought 1,000 tickets. They're gonna give them out to the fans for Wednesday's game. So I don't think that they would. I don't think they would play him at all if they felt he was hurt. I think they would just be better off sitting him out. They have every reason to start him off his first game at home. So I think he does play minutes. I'm not saying I think he does great, but I think he does play minutes. But it's just an opinion. You could be right. What do you think on that?
I think they play him a shit ton. Like, I don't think he's hurt at all. I think that was nonsense, calf strain, bullshit, whatever. Like, he looked fine the last time he played Oklahoma State.
Yeah, no. Well, he had it's just a quad. It's just a sore quad. It's not like an injury. It's like a soreness. You know what I mean? Like, it's more of a soreness. Like, if it was the finals, he would have played, right? It's like he would have played through that shit and made it work. Put it that way. But here we go. Evan, but Arizona drama, it's a possibility. I don't think it's likely, but it is a possibility, man. Not trying to shit on you by any means, bro. I know where you're coming from. Isaiah Battles, Fournier or Chris?
Fournier.
I actually want Fournier too. Fade Wood on FanDuel. Wood is like 8,100 over there. He's in a nut matchup though.
I mean, I'd go higher up, but he's playable. I'm playing it 7-2 on DraftKings. Like, that's almost the same price on FanDuel with the 3 points for blocks and steals. Almost, not quite.
I'm gonna switch it over to the WiseStream page to help out our homies over there. LeBron, Fox, or Booker Towns on DraftKings?
Booker Towns.
Booker Towns.
But it's close. Yeah. I did that one already.
Oh, you did do that one. Then maybe you handled these already then? Oh, you did already, right?
Yeah, it's only like 3 questions. It was from that.
LD, for FanDuel, Thon Maker or JaVale McGee? LD is talking tournaments. You know that. Be doing a tournament style.
Thon Maker or who?
McGee.
Maker.
Yeah, man, McGee's minutes scare me a little. I get it. The spot is phenomenal. I get that. I worry about the minutes a little bit with McGee though. I mean, he's played as low as 15 minutes lately, like often. Like, it's just they've been trying to work in Kuzma a little bit more, and if Ayton's out, they can certainly do that all they want. I don't hate him. I'm just saying, So as far as the first games, we have the Atlanta, Orlando, the Brooklyn Pacers, Hornets, Detroit. Those are the first games. Then the Minnesota game doesn't start till 7:30. So for DraftKings players, hopefully we'll have the starting lineup at some point. We can make that move on FanDuel. You kind of got to guess where you are, and guessing between Boucher and RHJ is not the easiest. I think if you had to pick one, or you could always roll with both. But I think they're both power forward, so you'd be punting power forward, and that's one of the deeper positions over there. So let me ask you, I guess for you it's Boucher over, if you had to pick one, Boucher over RHJ?
Yeah.
It's a ceiling thing, right?
Just because of the position scarcity thing.
Yeah. They're just thin. Thin AFington all day. I think I got my first crunch up, so I'll just kind of hang with that up there for now and adjust in the guys I need to accordingly. I did play about 15% Fournier. How much Oladipo are you looking at? He's a guy I have a lot of right now. I have like 46% of him right now.
Yeah, I have a lot of him too.
You got a number, like a round or estimate?
I have 54.
54, yeah. So he better. Okay, we got the starting lineup. Rondae Hollis Jefferson is starting at the 5 today. That is Lowry, Van Fleet, Anunoby, Siakam, Hollis Jefferson is the starting lineup. So in that case, does Boucher still does RHJ pass him for you, or no? You still like Boucher?
It makes Boucher stronger for me.
Yeah, he'll get the second unit usage. He'll be all by himself. All that good stuff. That's true. That is true. Bobby Boucher all day. Bobby Boucher. That's what I call him. That's what his homies call him. All day. Man, and we're talking about Cat on the other side. Yo, Cat's gonna eat his shit. I mean, he probably would do the same to Boucher, but when you really think about it and you picture it in your head, this dude trying to guard him, it's like, homeboy's in trouble.
Boucher, I wouldn't want to eat Boucher's shit. Boucher's got that hip, but you don't know where he.
You don't know.
Have you seen Boucher's lip?
Nah.
Ooh, it's like the worst case of herpes I think I ever seen.
Oh man, that's fucked up.
It might not be herpes. I shouldn't say that. Maybe it's like a
man. You say herpes, I label him a certain way. I start looking at him differently. You say, I'm just kidding. I'm just obviously just joking. For those of you that have herpes, I'm just joking. You know what I mean? It's not like shit happens. I mean, shit happens. I get it. I mean, people get herpes from cold sores and shit. And motherfuckers treat them all weird. Yeah, that's
stage 1. I don't know.
They start treating them weird.
I don't know nothing about it.
Me either, but I don't want to offend either because I know that nothing is as simple nothing is ever as simple as things seem. Right. Some people got that shit and it wasn't even their fault. It was just some, or some people just stuck on the wrong. But let's see if we get anything else grinding out here. Oh damn, I got a lot of De'Aaron Fox right now. Oh. What you said?
Nothing. Sucked on the wrong. Let's crunch the lightest out. I don't know if I'm gonna get it. Get that paper.
187. Let's go. Damn, I'm gonna have to readjust this. Somehow De'Aaron Fox became my highest owned player. I'm gonna make some adjustments when I say that. I am gonna make some adjustments to that to lower him a little bit, but I was like, damn. Don't play me like that. I'm cool with it. Don't get me wrong, but shit. Alright then, shit. Oh damn, I was getting a lot of Bogdanovich before. I'm not getting a whole ton of him now. So Bogdanovich or Hield if you had to pick one. Obviously Hield's more expensive, but who do you think does better today?
Hield. He's just hot right now.
He is hot. Not from this planet. We got 1 minute to lock, nation. Get them teams ready. Get them squads built. Make sure if you're doing MME, you got that shit uploaded. You don't want to be no fool. Don't get caught with your pants down. It's happened to us quite a few times since we've been doing these streams. Shit. Alright, the team's there.
Shit.
Shit. 1 minute to lock. Get them in. Let's do dirties. Time to win some money to the nation. It is time to win some money. Today, for me, the plays. Let's go.
What did you end up going highest ownership on?
My highest owned players are Milwaukee, the teams anyway, Milwaukee, Sacramento, Toronto right now. So I got a lot of the value guys between Hollis Jefferson and Boucher. I've got a lot of Illy. I've got more Fox, Middleton, and Bledsoe. I do have a lot of Devin Booker, 50% Devin Booker, 46% Oladipo. Bielitsa is probably the guy that I'm looking to get my low ownership stand on. I got about 50% of him. He's in my core. I do like him quite a bit.
That's locked,
baby. My core didn't change much aside from maybe adding in the value, but the main players didn't really change all that much for me. I still like Bielitsa, still like Bogdanovich, still like Fox. Bielitsa, Fox the most, but that's gonna do it, nation. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. If you haven't hit that like button, please do. As you know, Paulie told y'all on Friday, the more likes we get, the more likely he is to get taken care of by his significant other. That's how I word it.
I had to fucking plea bargain that shit on Friday to get up there, but still worked it out. You know what I mean?
Jawan Holt, you just said all in, and then you said I got all the Ibaka 0% on. I hope you're kidding, bro. I hope you're kidding. Please tell me you're joking. That's what I'm saying. If you're joking, then it's all good. We can laugh. It's all fun. But I hope you're kidding because Ibaka is not playing, and we addressed that. So I'm hoping he was in here earlier. I missed Kyle. Kyle Miller had a good question, and I missed it. I'm sorry, man. You know, at the very end of the show, we got teams to build and all that shit. Shit gets crazy. But his question was Siakam or Wiggins. I would have said Siakam. But what about you?
I would have said Siakam.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's gonna do it for us. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us, man. We'll see y'all tomorrow, Monday through Friday. You know the deal. I'll be on the early stream, the early look, probably around 11 a.m. or so, maybe a little earlier. And then, of course, you was kidding. All right, cool. All right, good. Oh, he was just kidding. Okay, you man, you know, we know, made me nervous, man. But it's all good.
Ran, come up, shout, you know.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
That's it, man. You can't have me nervous.
How many games they got tomorrow?
What kind of slate we got? I think it's a smaller slate. Not like small, but not no 9.
909.
909. It's not like, I think it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. 5. Bread and butter status. We're gonna get out of here, Nation. Right. For Paulie D, for myself, the entire WiseTake Nation, we'll catch you tomorrow. And good luck.
7.